Hey guys, Neely here, coming in for my weekend Q&A and chat. I don't have very many questions, just a few today, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump in. First one is from Lindsay. She asked about, let's see, she says, question for your next chat. Do you let whatever food plan you were eating from fall by the wayside during your first trimester of pregnancy? I was on nutritional ketosis for a year, found out we were pregnant with a surprise baby number 3. Congratulations. And the only thing I can stomach are empty carbs at this point. So yes, for the most part, I have kind of let things go by the wayside in the first trimester. I always have high aspirations of what I want to do, and I succeed to varying degrees, different pregnancies. But I totally get not being able to stomach anything except empty carbs. I've totally been there. And for the most part, I've tried to stay like gluten-free at least. So I'd get like gluten-free pretzels and stuff, but still that wasn't the healthiest. But when you're in that first trimester of pregnancy, sometimes you just have to do whatever you can do to get something in your stomach. So I totally understand that. If I do have another baby, I do want to try again, like to keep on some kind of track a little bit better, because I do know that it's definitely a balance between eating whatever you can stand, no matter how unhealthy it is, and like that unhealthy food that you end up eating can feed into making you feel worse. So it's like I want to do everything I can before the pregnancy to make sure that my body is in a healthy enough place that hopefully I won't have as bad symptoms as I've had before. But so it's just kind of that balancing act of figuring out what's worth it at the time. But like I always try to eat healthy, and then it ends up being whatever it is. My goal or my plan for next pregnancy, whenever that might happen, is I want to do a Whole30 pregnancy. And the reason for that is I did a Whole30 for my third trimester when I was pregnant with Charity, Ruthie. And it was the best pregnancy I've ever had, like the best. I felt the best all the way up to the end. My delivery was the easiest. My brain was in a really good place throughout the whole delivery. And I think if I do an entire Whole30 pregnancy, like that'll be just even that much better. I just did the last 3 months of my pregnancy Whole30 and it was amazing. So that is my goal. So, like once we start trying, I think I want to get on a pretty solid Whole30 plan. And my idea, and of course with pregnancy things don't always go as planned, but my idea is to try to get on a Whole30 before my first trimester starts, like when we're trying to get pregnant, and then during the first trimester try to stay at Whole30 as much as possible. Then in my second trimester maybe add in a few things like beans and I don't know, mostly beans and maybe like some quinoa, stuff like that, for the second trimester. And then when I get into the third trimester, go really strict again on Whole30 and do that through delivery. So that's what I have in my mind right now. But you guys all know that pregnancies and babies don't follow plans and schedules and rules. So anyways, I don't know if that helped you at all, but I have and I do, but I always try. I don't want to get to the place, which I've been in before, which is just like, I can't be on any kind of plan, so therefore I'm just going to eat junk food and not have any concerns about my health or the health of the baby or anything like that. It's definitely a balance. Okay, next question is from Anne, and she commented on my video of Charity and the zoo. That was so much fun. I had so much fun putting together that video, and I think I've watched it 100 times. It just makes me smile every time I see it. So anyways, she asked, does Charity like your dog? She seems to be so delighted with all the animals, but I never see the girls playing with Poe. Poe is adorable, and I'm a pushover for dogs. Yes, the girls play with Poe a lot, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll have to get that in some videos at some point, maybe some day in the lives. I need to do some day in the lives of just us at home. I do a lot of day in the lives when we're out running around doing things, but that's not usually normal. So I should do some day in the lives of us just being at home, and you can see them playing with Poe and snuggling with Poe. They love to snuggle with Poe. I mean, they're out watching a movie right now, and I bet you one of them is got Poe all snuggled up next to him. That's what he loves. He just loves attention and to be cuddled and to be played with, and he gets a lot of that with 4 girls and my husband, who loves him as well. But yes, she definitely loves Poe and plays with him. And some of you mentioned that maybe we need to get another pet here for Charity, since she was so excited about the animals. And I would like to get something at some point, but I haven't decided. And we have such a small house that we have to make it work. And then Poe, he can be kind of annoying with other animals. The dog next door, he just barks at it crazy. And sometimes it's like some animals he's fine with, and then it's just, you never know with him. So I would love to get a little bunny. That would be fun. My sister has a couple of those, and she always posts pictures and talks about them, and that would be so cute. Or a guinea pig or something like that. But anyways, we have no immediate plans for that. But if we do end up getting another animal, we will definitely let you know. So next is from Michelle, and she asked, do you generally try to stick with whole days of low carb or low fat, or do you still freestyle like with THM? So at the beginning of the year, January, I was doing the whole days of low fat and low carbs, and that went really, really well for me, and I had really good results as far as weight loss. So I think I have the best results with weight loss when I do that. But I kind of got out of it when my family was in town, and just the whole month of February was kind of eating in maintenance mode, which is freestyling. Freestyling meaning I eat whatever meal I feel like at whatever meal, not sticking to a whole day of low fat or low carb. And also in maintenance mode, I eat a lot of crossovers. So I was eating a lot of crossovers for the month of February. And so, yes, I was definitely freestyling through that time. And then now that I'm on the Whole30, I am, it's funny because people say, aren't you on THM anymore? Did you leave THM to do Whole30? And it's kind of, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but it's kind of funny because everything from Whole30 that I'm eating falls into the THM plan. So I can still say I'm on THM and it's totally truthful, but I'm also doing a Whole30 at the same time. So I'm doing a Whole30, but through a THM lens, you might be able to call it like a purist type Whole Foods maintenance mode THM program, because I'm eating a lot of crossovers. And I'm eating all, whole foods, not packaged stuff for the most part, not any kind of low carb products, no sweeteners of any kind, just lots of vegetables, lots of fruit, lots of healthy meats, and lots of healthy fats. And so that's, it all works out to be on THM, but it would be a freestyling and also a maintenance mode because of so many crossovers. Okay, so W. Kip asked also about THM and Whole30, and she said, will you ever go back to THM, and what are your plans once you hit your goal weight? Do you know what type of eating plan you will follow for maintenance? So, like I already said, I feel like I still am on THM. Like, it's not... The two plans are not mutually exclusive. You can be on both at the same time, but I am leaning towards the maintenance side of THM, which includes a lot of crossovers. And I find that on Whole30, when I'm doing a Whole30 with the food restrictions that they have, that when I eat maintenance mode, like carbs and fat together for several meals, I don't gain weight and I can actually lose weight that way. So with THM, they kind of give the idea that the only way to lose weight is to separate fat and carbs, like your S and your E meals. And I agree with that to a certain extent, but there are lots of different ways to lose weight. And Whole30 does it in a little bit of a different way, like a roundabout way, where you work on cutting out all the inflammatory foods, and as a result of your body getting healthier, it naturally drops weight that it doesn't need. So all that to say, I have not abandoned THM, and I will be incorporating all the principles that I've learned from THM as I continue past my Whole30. I've talked about a lot of different plans with you guys, and I know it's confusing because all these plans are put out as the plan that you follow for the rest of your life, except for really Whole30. That's the only one that is that I've talked about for the most part that doesn't tell you have to eat exactly these foods for the rest of your life. But like with THM and other ones, it's like they put the information out as if this is the only plan that you need and you either follow it or you don't. And I don't read diet books like that anymore, and I don't learn about diets like that anymore. What I try to do is read a plan and take whatever beneficial information there is that applies to me and use that in my life as I create my own diet, and then I just leave the rest. So I resonate deeply with THM, and I will always apply the things that I've learned from THM to my life. I will not ever abandon THM completely. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to learn from other plans and continue to incorporate different things that might also benefit my body. So as far as the question, will you ever go back to THM? I feel like I still am on THM. And yes, I plan to continue to do THM after my Whole30 is over. So I hope that makes sense. And then you asked, what are your plans once you hit goal weight? Do you know what type of eating plan you will follow in maintenance? And I think I will probably just continue to do the same thing that I'm doing now. I am going to eat maintenance mode like I did this last month, which is more indulgent, more eating what the family eats a little more. And then I kind of get to the place where my body feels not as healthy if I do that for too long. And then I go into something like the Whole30 or some other kind of, little bit stricter, just tighten up everything, make sure I'm getting all my vegetables in, not overdoing it on the sugar or the carbs or whatever. And that gets me back into a healthy place. And then after a little while, it'll be, the summer or the holidays, vacation, and it'll be more indulgent time. And then when I get home, I will have my little bit stricter, healthier eating tightened up. If that's a Whole30 or something else, it'll just be something a little bit tighter around all those things that kind of get out of hand when you're just eating maintenance mode. So anyways, I hope that helps answer the question. Yeah, I know it's confusing. When I am on something and then I switch to something else, and to some people it might seem, schizophrenic and like I'm just jumping from one thing to another, but for me I'm not dedicated to whatever specific plan. I'm dedicated to listening to my body and figuring out what it wants and doesn't want. So if that aligns with a specific plan, that's great. But as soon as it stops aligning with that plan, then I will, make changes or add in something else or whatever. So that's where I'm at. I hope that answers your question. Lisa asked a question that's kind of related to all that. She's just getting started with THM, and she was noticing that a lot of people seem to have a lot of success right in the beginning, and then they hit a stall. And so she's kind of preparing herself for that stall, which is a great thing to do, because sometimes people get on a plan and they start losing weight really fast and they just expect it to continue forever. And then when it doesn't, then they're totally off the rails. So the fact that you're preparing for a stall, which probably will come, it happens to everybody, and it happens in almost every diet. Like, it's not just THM that has this. It's just, that's how our bodies work. Our bodies are really smart and they figure things out that we're doing. And so then they're like, oh, well, I don't want to starve to death and lose all this weight because I might need it later. So I will just get used to whatever it is you're doing, and we'll keep this weight on. So that's why I do a lot of switching things up and moving from one plan to another, because it throws a curveball at your body, and your body's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I don't know how to deal with that quite as efficiently, so I will continue to lose weight. So you asked if maybe just switching up recipes would be enough to change things up if you hit a stall, and absolutely that is one thing to try for sure. And with THM, it's one of those unique plans that has the switching it up built right in with the S meals, the low carb meals, and the E meals, the low fat meals, and then crossovers as well, and then fuel poles. So there are infinite number of ways that you can mix things up within THM. So don't ever feel like you have to go out of THM to find something new to mix up your diet with. If you are in a rut of just eating S meals all day and you have, an email only once a week, switch it up and do a couple of E days or a fuel cycle. They have a plan right in the program, written into the book for people who are having trouble and struggling losing weight and hitting that stall. So you can just go do a 1 week or 2 week fuel cycle, and usually that mixes things up enough for people that the weight starts dropping again if you have more weight to lose. So definitely don't feel like you have to jump off of THM if you do hit a stall. THM is not just a diet program, it's a whole system of thinking about dieting and about your food intake, and it's appropriate for every stage of life. That's the great thing about it. You can stay on THM in some way through from childhood through pregnancy, through old age, menopause, and you just have to figure out how to make it work for whatever stage of life you're in. And so there are infinite number of ways to mix things up, and all you need to do is experiment with that. And I've done a lot of that. Like I said before, one way that seems to work well for me is to do entire days of S meals, low carb meals, and then entire days of E meals, low fat and higher carb, and then also throwing in entire days of the fuel poles, which is low fat and low carb. Doing that seems to work really well for my body. So you just got to play with it. You got to find what your body wants at whatever specific time, because that's going to change depending on where your body's at, and you just got to experiment with it and find out about your body and what it needs. So anyways, I hope that was clear as well. I am going to leave this here. This video is getting kind of long, and I hope that information was helpful to you guys. Please leave down below any other comments you have for next week's Q&A. And if I wasn't clear about something, I know I feel kind of scatterbrained today. I'm on day 5 of Whole30, and I definitely was feeling headachy 2 days ago, and then really tired yesterday, and today I still feel a little tired and a little scatterbrained. So I feel like I haven't been speaking clearly, but anyways, let me know if there is something that I wasn't clear about, and I can answer you in the comments. So I will be back again soon. I hope you guys are doing great. I'll talk to you later. Bye guys.